UFC 319 is right around the corner, which means it's time for my predictions. I'm going to be going through every fight on the card, giving you my thoughts and breakdown on the fight and picking a winner. There's a lot of fights to go through, so without further ado, let's just get into it. Nursultan Ruziboyev versus Bryan Battle. This is going to be a really interesting fight, and it's another tough one to predict because Ruziboyev has the grappling, Bryan Battle has the striking. It's just kind of tough to gauge where Ruziboyev is at this point in his career. He has some good wins on his resume, but he has some not so good moments as well. And then on the other side with Bryan Battle, of course, last time he missed weight against Randy Brown, and it just honestly was a pretty shit performance, all things considered. So he's going to want to bounce back in a big way. However, I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. I'm torn on this one. You know what? I'm going to go with Bryan Battle just because I think on the feet, he can handle Ruziboyev, and if he's able to hold off the takedowns, he should be able to get the job done pretty comfortably. Next up, Edson Barbosa versus Drakkar Klose. I'm going to be going with Edson Barbosa here. Last time out, he fought Lerone Murphy, and yeah, he did lose that fight, but it was pretty close for moments, and he still hung his own. Drakkar Klose, he was brutally defeated by Joel Alvarez in his last outing, and honestly, I just don't think Drakkar Klose is all that good, to be honest with you. So I'm taking Barbosa. I think he'll get the job done, probably by KO as well. Next up, Alexander Hernandez versus Chase Hooper. Chase Hooper is a grappling phenom, honestly, in the lightweight division. He's on a nice win streak, and I think he'll continue it here. I don't think Hernandez is going to be able to hang with Hooper on the ground. Yeah, he can grapple, but not at Chase Hooper's level. I think Chase Hooper, he'll take him down, he'll dominate him. It may not be the prettiest of fights, but he'll get the job done in the end. Moving up the card to Jessica Andrade versus Lope Godinez, and this is a really interesting matchup, and another one I'm kind of torn on because both of these ladies, they can bang, man. They can swing on the feet, and that's exactly what this fight's going to be, honestly. It's going to be both of them going back and forth. Finally, Jessica Andrade doesn't have to fight a grappler that's just going to try and choke her out. She's going to fight someone that's going to try and actually knock her out, and I think Lope may be successful with it. Honestly, I'm not too sure because Jessica Andrade, while I don't think she's that great anymore, she has the reach advantage over Lope Godinez and can actually strike. So honestly, her veteran presence may just help her win this one, but I don't know. I just don't think I can pick Jessica Andrade to win a fight. I'm going Lope Godinez, probably by decision. Next up, Gerald Meerschaert versus Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. I'm taking Mikhail Oleksiejczuk here. Gerald Meerschaert, he can win fights in the UFC, but Oleksiejczuk is honestly a level above him, and that's honestly really not saying much because Mikhail Oleksiejczuk is an average UFC fighter. So yeah, I think Oleksiejczuk will get the win here. Kind of weird matchmaking in my opinion. Not sure why they went with this, but Oleksiejczuk, he'll probably pick up a KO or TKO at some point. Now on to the featured prelim, King Green versus Diego Ferreira. Bobby Green is in serious need of a victory here. This dude's just been put in a blender over the past couple of years, just honestly clipped up to shit. Mauricio Ruffy took his head off with a spinning wheel kick, and yeah, it's just been ugly for Bobby Green. But I think this is a fight he can win. Diego Ferreira, he's good. He's going to stand there and strike with him, but he's not elite. So, like, Bobby could totally win. The only strikers Bobby's going to lose to is guys that are just levels above him. And honestly, there's not too many guys that are just flat out better strikers than Bobby Green. Obviously, Green's chin is not going to hold up well. If he gets hit hard, he's probably going to go to sleep here. But I'm backing that he doesn't. I think Bobby Green will go in there. He'll have a nice little performance, potentially even win by KO. And then honestly, he probably should retire. He probably won't, but he probably should. On to the main card now, and this is one of the better main cards of 2025. There's a lot of fun fights on here. So first up, Tim Elliott versus Kai Asakura. Asakura came to the UFC a star, and he's got a lot of work to do to get back to the title. He lost to Pantoja, and it was kind of quick. So now here come his ranked opponents. And first up, right here, we have Tim Elliott. And Tim Elliott is a guy who has had success in the UFC against multiple different guys. He beat Tajiro Limbenkov, which is a really nice win, and that's aging well. His grappling is going to be very good. It's a classic striker versus grappler matchup. Is Tim Elliott's grappling going to be effective enough to stop Kai, or is Kai going to be able to knock him out? And honestly, I think Kai's going to be able to knock him out. While I do think Tim Elliott's really good, I think there's a lot to be desired on the feet, and I think Kai's going to take advantage of that and take his head off. Kai Asakura via KO. That's my pick. Now on to Jared Cannonier versus Michael Venom Page, an interesting matchup in the middleweight division. And this is going to be a big test for MVP, and it's going to tell us where he's at in his career. Jared Cannonier, yeah, he's old now, he's over 40, but he still brings it every single time he fights, and he's fought the best of the best. This is going to be a big test for MVP. I don't think Cannonier can hang with him on the feet, because not many dudes can, and honestly, at this point, I don't know how effective Cannonier's wrestling can be in this fight. I don't know if he's going to be able to move the same way he once was. He's coming off of a bad loss. I don't know. I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in this matchup. Yeah, he had the win against Gregory Rodriguez, but before that, he's been getting beat up by the best. So if MVP is one of the best guys, then he'll do that too. I do think he might have his way in this fight. He's younger, of course. This might just be the perfect guy for MVP to be fighting at this point to get a crack into the top 10. So yeah, MVP, I'm going to say via KO or TKO. I think he's a little too fast for Cannonier. He might find his chin and might have a nice little finish. Now to the featured fight, probably fight of the night in my opinion, Carlos Prates, Jeff Neal. Both of these guys bang, both of these guys throw bombs, and this is going to be a striker's delight for 15 minutes. Awesome fight, awesome matchmaking. I don't even give a shit who wins, to be honest, because this fight's just going to be awesome. But if I had to pick a winner, I'm going to say Carlos Prates. I think he's still a little step ahead. I think his shots are going to hurt a little more. But don't count out Jeff Neal, and don't be surprised if he goes out there and wins this fight. I could totally see that happening. I'm going to back Prates, though, as the better contender, maybe, and I'm just going to say his power is going to take over. I don't think he gets the KO, though. I think it's going to be a close 29-28 decision. Now on to the weirdest co-main event of the year, Lerone Murphy versus Aaron Pico. You can argue this fight shouldn't even be on the main card, and it's in the co-main event spot, but that's okay. I'm a big Lerone Murphy fan. I've been watching this guy for a while, and I've been following his rise, and he's finally in the big leagues. This is it. He's a fight or two away from the title, and I don't think this gets him to the title, but it gets him a step closer. Aaron Pico is coming over from Bellator. He's making his UFC debut, and lately, it's been going really shitty for guys who have come into the UFC besides Renier de Ridder, so I don't know what to expect here. I'm going to back the UFC caliber. I think Lerone Murphy, yeah, he isn't known for his grappling, but he has great takedown defense and he can bang on the feet. He's a really solid overall mixed martial artist, and I think that's important against these guys that come over from other promotions. Aaron Pico, like most of them, just going to be a step behind. Lerone Murphy via decision. That's what I see. And last but certainly not least, the main event, one of the biggest fights of the year, Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev. I'm not going to get into this one too much as I made a breakdown for this fight. Go check that out if you're interested. But I'm going to say Dricus du Plessis wins it. I think, yeah, it's an unpopular pick, but I don't really care. I think DDP is a better striker. I think he has the cardio for all 5 rounds, has more championship experience against high-level opponents. And yeah, he may never have faced anything like Khamzat's wrestling, but Khamzat's also never faced anything like Dricus du Plessis. He's a complete question mark in there, completely and just radically different from everybody in the middleweight division, and I think he's just going to be a little too much for Khamzat. He's going to have Khamzat guessing the whole fight, and if Khamzat wastes a lot of his energy in those first 2 rounds like he usually does, I wouldn't be surprised if as the fight goes on, DDP takes over. Dricus du Plessis, KO or TKO, late round finish, I think, maybe round 4 or 5. Gonna gas Khamzat out, gonna lay the pressure on him, and he's gonna get the finish and stay the 185 champion of the world. There you guys have it, though. Those are my picks for UFC 319. A lot of fun fights on this card. One of the best fight cards of the year. It's not saying much because it's been pretty ass this year, but it is one of the better cards of the year. Should be a great night. Thank you all for watching this video. Be sure to check out other videos just like this one. A bunch of UFC 319 content is coming out through the week, so if you like it, check out some more. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one.